Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming with more Plague Inc. Evolved custom scenarios. We have more requests and so I shall play them. Today we have a scenario called the Ultimate Indian Flu, I think is what it was, by our very own GD Mitch, who has actually created several scenarios spotlighted on this channel before, usually with the help of both Mushy and Indigo Phoenix, two other very talented content creators, or I should say scenario creators, who have been featured on this channel multiple times. So this is always usually a pretty good product from GD Mitch. Let's see, thanks to the usual folks. Okay, sounds good. It is a new strain of H1N1 and emerged out of the trenches, a hardened killer of men. It could kill within 8 to 12 hours of exposure. Jeez, the world exposed weakness and it flourished everywhere. 50 to 200 million people most likely died. Yowzes. Okay, so this is all very, very technical. Usually, GD Mitch does use very medical terminology when creating these scenarios, so don't be surprised if I struggle a little bit in pronunciations. I will do my best, but at this point, it's practically a meme, and I embrace it. For a virus type, I'm going to go for my ATP boost, Darwinist, Aquatrax, Humophile, and Symptostasis, and it is called H9N6 flu. Insect-borne fever. Though influenza A is adapted to birds, it can also stably adapt and sustain person-to-person transmission. Recent influenza research into the genes of the Spanish flu virus shows it to have genes adapted from both human and avian strains. In this scenario, you have to learn how to adapt to humans. Pigs can also be infected with human and avian and swine influenza viruses, allowing for mixtures of genes to create a new virus, which can cause an antigenic shift into a new influenza A virus subtype, which most people have little to no immune protection against. So basically, we can hybridize our virus? Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, we're starting off in India, which is not an unusual starting location. It's actually pretty good, so let's take a look at our transmissions. We have Insects 1, okay, good for the hot countries, including India. Insects 2, inflammation of the esophagus, causes behavioral distortions when feeding. Could be good for us, we might pick that up. We have birds. For some reason, I kind of figured we were going to start with avian transmission, but apparently not. This is going to give us a mutation as well as infectivity, usually also some land transmission, but we'll see. Segmented genome, increasing mutation chance, influenzal regression, reshuffle of avian swine nucleotides changes external proteins on viral capsid, revert strain to a milder one, but possible to evolve lethal strain afterwards. So this would actually reduce my severity and give me a lot of extra infectivity, which is not too bad. It also looks like it sets back a little bit of the lethality. I kind of like the idea of getting this, and that's pretty darn effective. All right, let's go ahead and pick that up. That seems reasonable. Swine 2, pigs more susceptible to infection. Okay, so we actually start with a level of the swine, so we already have some swine flu involved. Okay, and then we have livestock, so it looks like both of these are going to be good for the rural areas. Also, the pigs unlock additional abilities and transmission types. Nice. Symptoms. We start off with pneumonia. Consolidation of pleura allows fluid buildup in interstitial spaces, exerting increased pressure on alveoli. Increased infectivity in the wealthy and the cold regions, not too helpful for us right now, but will be later. We also have a pulmonary embolism, blockage of the pulmonary veins, occasionally death, pretty lethal, don't want that right away. Coryza. Coryza? Nasal airways undergoes epithelial metaplasia of nasal mucous membranes. Victim experiences rhinorrhea and severe congestion. Again, probably not something we want right now. This is so severe right here with so much lethality, I'm a little concerned about mutation chance, but let's see what happens. For our abilities, we start off with viral endolysis. Hemagglutinin binds effectively to celiac acid bases on epithelial cell membranes, allowing for replication of hosts. Offers significant insights into cure development. So I guess they cure me a little bit faster. That leads to virionic endocytosis. Cell transport allows virions to converge into microtubules to access acid-based endosomes for genomic targeting. I'm getting by this pretty well so far, but it's not going to last as soon as I start to feel a little bit mentally tired. Respiratory breach gives us the pneumonia symptom tree. Hematemesis. Hemorrhage in oral cavity of infected swines cause them to vomit ingested blood often. And also, why are they ingesting blood? And we also have respiratory infection, maybe expressed as pneumonia in a human host. Okay. So a lot going on there. What's going to be the best procedure for us? I don't know. Probably want to go for the insects next, just because getting a little bit of extra infectivity in India to get us started would certainly not go amiss at this point, and that cost me only 7 DNA, which is perfect. That leads to Insect 3. Pathogen elicits tumor growth in ventral nerves, leading to intense dizziness and fever in insect. Disruption of sleeping cycle in insects increase the infection rate. Human infection is the key to survival. In order for your plague to spread... This is pretty cool, by the way. Dude, I like this art. This looks awesome. In order for your plague to spread and kill efficiently, it must learn/adapt to infect humans. In abilities using the amplification and viral evolution-based traits on the left of the screen, you can unlock viremia, the key trait for being free to evolve. So, wait, right now we're infecting humans. Are we supposed to be infecting only swine/birds right now? Is that what this is supposed to be representing? I'm not too sure. I guess we should go ahead and pick this up, and that leads to viremia. Successful expulsion of viral progeny through viral shedding causes increased viral titer in bloodstream, giving access to the entire body, unlocking a load of traits, and also anabolic apoptosis, protease, able to cleave respiratory tract hemagglutinin proteins, allowing for moderate symptom once amplificated inside trachea, unlocking more traits. Good lord. Okay, all this seems good. Do I want to go for this right away? Do I want to go for this later? I mean, I don't know. I mean, we want to go for the birds? You want to go for the birds? Sure, let's go for the birds for a little bit of extra land transmission. A lot of that stuff still seems fairly basic, but yeah, we're probably going to have to focus on something that gets me extra access to humans. Somehow we got a lot of DNA pretty quickly. I'm not opposed to that. Let's go for viremia. Okay, so this unlocks a load of traits. What do we get? I see nothing so far. We do have gastric breach, attachment to inner mucus lining of the stomach. Okay, the digestive symptom tree. That would be helpful, actually, to get things like nausea, because if I did see correctly, we have a Festival of Love in India, which means this should give us an extra infectivity boost. Pathogen has reverted. Your influenza strain has just reverted to its previous state with an unnecessary apostrophe. Severity and lethality have returned to normal. Did I do something wrong? Because usually reversion doesn't sound particularly good, but maybe this is good. Maybe this is exactly what we want to see. Oh, wow. No, never mind. We just absolutely bumped back to our previous lethality and severity. That is not what I wanted. Ooh, okay. Well, we did get gastroenteritis a little early. Then we have gastritis over here. If I go for antigenic drift, this would not help me right now. Renal breach for the renal system? Maybe. Or maybe we want to go for the anabolic apoptosis. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what's happening right now. Reversion was not what I expected, and I'm not too sure what I triggered to do that. It might have been the viremia, might have been something else. Let's go for anabolic apoptosis, and let's see if that unlocks anything new. It did not unlock something. Oh, there we go. Respiratory droplets. Sputum lining of the throat tissues expelled, allowing pathogen to be spread through droplets when coughing or sneezing. Good for the air and wealthy country infectivity. That sounds like something I totally would like. We have high enough lethality that I'm a little concerned. Now, we should be able to get some extra DNA out of this, which is certainly nice, but this is going to get people to start shutting down the ports very, very rapidly, and I'm highly concerned about that. We do have fomites, which is good in the wealthy and urban environments, including China, so that makes sense to me. More urban and wealthy areas there. More urban and wealthy areas there. Okay. Rural. Unlocks abilities. Abilities? Do we want to get birds too to unlock more abilities? There's a lot of different cross-referencing, like, gating mechanisms here. So keeping track of all this might get a little bit challenging for me. I don't want to go too ham on more symptoms at this point, because that might end up backstabbing me pretty badly. We have Cialic cleavage. Neurominidases, I don't know. Cleaves celiac acid receptors from cells once mature viruses form, allowing proper proteolysis once amplification is complete, unlocking additional traits. Okay, and then we do have viral biosynthesis. Pathogen infects the liver cells to create specific copies of pathogen using liver macrophage manipulation. You know, that makes sense. The liver's actually like the fastest regenerating organ in the body. Like, it's actually really impressive what the liver's capable to do. So if you hijack that and the macrophage process in order to actually create lots of copies, that could be really good. Unlocks climate as well as drug-based resistance traits. All of that does seem pretty good, doesn't it? But I think I'm going to go ahead and grab the birds. This should unlock some new abilities. I don't see any, so they're probably still locked behind something. We do need to be concerned that we don't have enough environmental resistance and stuff, so I think we may have to go for the viral biosynthesis. This is going to lead to aphromyalgia. mRNA breaks through viral pores on capsid to resist antibodies. Virus is no longer fully uncoats capsid in cells to avoid protein binding. Medication is less effective, and also acryalgia. Viral synthesis of the nucleoside and analogs into capsid help something blah, 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 blah with the cold. Okay, that seems like something I want. Okay, cold stuff. Yes, cold resistance. That's what I got out of this. And that does sound very useful to me. We're actually getting around in a lot of countries. I'm just worried about a lot of these ports. But let's go for this. All right, and this leads to latent projector. Virus propagates through contact during prolonged incubation period in birds, allows virus to spread in seemingly healthy hosts, infecting random countries. This might be my key to getting into some of the islands. We also have improper primers. Antigens completely reshuffle genetic synthesis methods of primers. All testing methods break down, reverse the cure, and boost infectivity, but damage in the long run. So this might be kind of like the nano machine or the nanobot disease, where you like temporarily completely reset the cure. And then we have genetic shift, which increases the mutation chance. Okay, so we have a few more tools in our toolbox. That could be good. We do need some rural transmission, probably pretty soon, so I may want to go for some swine to get some additional abilities and transmissions. That is 16 DNA, no problem, grab. Also should increase our spread in Russia just a little bit. Do I want to go for the respiratory droplets for the more urban and wealthy? At the moment, I don't think so per se. What's this? Nucleic inhibitor. NEU and HA proteins bulge in cell's nucleus, effectively killing it once replication is complete. Increases virulency the higher the infectivity. So more infectivity translates into even more infectivity? Is that what I'm supposed to get out of this? So we hit critical mass faster. Maybe? I don't know. I'm going to go for the renal breach just so we have some more options. This leads to polyuria. That's pretty good, actually. Good in the poor countries. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pick that one up. I was thinking some extra options for mutation chance so we don't get completely screwed could be helpful. For example, we did just get gastritis, and I probably don't want this. That said, I think we can handle it at this point. Pancreatitis. Pretty darn lethal. Don't want that. We do have pyelonephritis. Occasionally lethal, and acute renal failure, also lethal. Okay, so mutation chance is just outright dangerous at this point. I'm not sure that I want that. Septic breach, circulatory symptom tree, and neural breach, nervous system tree. Okay. Maybe getting some medication reduction would be nice, so we'll pick that up as another resistance. Do we want to go for the respiratory droplets? It's not as good as fomites, but it has another option after that might unlock some new stuff. All right, let's go for respiratory droplets. Oh, no, it is locked behind something, and I don't know what. Okay, never mind. More livestock? More insects? Let's go for insects. This leads to rodents, which is good in the urban areas. Got a lot of different urban transmission improvements. Don't feel like we need too much. We actually just got into Greenland, amazingly. That leaves Iceland, New Zealand, the Philippines, and the Caribbean. So we're actually getting around to a lot of these islands pretty impressively, despite the fact that we do have more lethality than I would be normally seeing. So that's interesting. There's the Philippines. We got that. So Iceland's done as well. So that leaves the Caribbean and New Zealand. Dare I start going for some more mutation chance to start ripping through... I mean, the cure's only at 2%. We can just get a lot more lethality if you want to. Let's go over Cialic Cleavage. That unlocks new traits. We have Quasi-Reshuffling, Mutate through Infection. That could be good. And Satellitosis. Satellite viruses monitor damaged viruses inside infected cells, increases the chance of quality mutations in virus. Quality mutation. Each mutation gives bonus stats? Holy crap, really? Hold the phone. So wait, if I get this plus mutation, I will start getting extra infectivity, severity, and lethality with every mutation regardless of what it is? Dude, we're doing that. Let's just see what happens. Screw it. I want to try. Do you want to go for viral instability? I don't think I need to worry about the heat right now. Let's go for the genetic shift, slowing the cure and increasing mutation chance a bit further. And dare I go for the viral instability? For now, let's not go for anything else in terms of abilities, because I want the mutation chance to start getting a bit more lethal as time goes on. Still waiting to get into the Caribbean. Maybe we do want some heat resistance. All right, let's go ahead and do that. We'll just fork out some money. Highly resistant flu strain is being inspected. Recently, the World Health Organization has found a new strain of influenza A in India called H9N6 flu, which, by the way, has already infected 3.5 billion people. Despite pathogenic traits, the team were amazed by the high cold and heat tolerance of the pathogen. However, research demands of the team are being deemed malevolent. I mean, yeah, I'm not exactly peaceful. All right, we got into every country. What the crud, dude? Okay, yeah, you know what? Fine. Yeah, let's just continue with this. We need lethality pretty badly. We could go for pancreatitis. It's a little on the expensive side. I'm going to go for the pulmonary embolism, and let's grab the cheap coryza so that we mutate something better, and coughing, get that out of the way. Then there's sneezing. trying to leave only super lethal things for our mutation chance to work for us, but there we go. They're starting to work pretty heavily on the cure, but we're killing pretty quickly. Let's grab the sneezing to get rid of it. Then we have pulmonary edema. Let's also pick up this one, which we have no idea what that's going to lead to. Okay. Again, just ruling out a lot of the cheap ones, so mutation chance would work for us. That said, I am not seeing much in the way of mutation chance. Reset mutation. That's not what I want, though, right? Reset mutation. Reset mutation. Did I accidentally shut down my mutation chance? Is that why we haven't gotten anything? We'll pick it up and we'll see what happens. New strain not affected by current preventatives and cure progress. So what do you mean we reset the mutation? Did we reset the mutation chance back down to 0? Because that doesn't sound like a good price for me. Not gonna lie. Sounds like a really bad thing. Let's go ahead and pick up the antigenic shift. So this should absolutely obliterate the cure. And still no sign of mutations. Maybe we have to go for some viral instability? Yeah, that is... Well, it was temporarily reversing the cure, but it actually seems to have reset itself back up. They're going pretty fast, I'm not gonna lie. Pancreatitis mutated, so we did get some mutation chance. Decreases severity mutation chance, but is easier to cure. That's not what I want. Oh, crap. We actually may have a problem. I thought this was going to be a genetic reshuffle. It's not. Wait a minute. Viral instability. The next level of that does result in slowing down the cure, so greatly increases the cure effort required to cure the pathogen. Pick it up now. Sets us back down. It did not set us back down, but it did slow the progress. Still, I'm not convinced that's going to end up being enough. We haven't actually destroyed enough here. So we need to get to the next level here with 21, like now. Like right now. But we are getting some more symptoms mutated. So let's pick this up and slow it down even further. Pathogen metabolism is lowering. In 50, 100, and 150 days, your pathogen will slow down and lethality will lower. Natural selection at work, balancing the pathogen. Really? So over time, I'm going to be slowing down. Oh, and they got the cure progress done super fast, too. Wait, I thought I slowed it down further. What did we get that just made it super easy to cure? Uh-oh. Fatal in elderly patients. Not actually what I want. Okay, so that did not quite work out. We got a lot of people killed. But not enough. No. Okay, so let me think about what we should do going forward. What would be a better way to do this? So were these useful? Builds back over time, harder to cure. Certainly good to slow down the cure, I suppose. Reset mutation. Probably went down to like 0 and then gradually built it back up. New strain not affected by current preventatives and cure progress. Well, clearly it was. So that did not actually eliminate the cure quite like I was hoping it would. So basically, I think what happened is we did not kill nearly fast enough because look how much active cure progress is still available. Yeah, the wealthy countries are still contributing way too much. Okay, so I need to be a little bit more careful, I think, with my spread. I don't want to get detected too early, so I think the extra severity and lethality at the beginning when we reset the genome messed us up somehow. So I'm going to try this one again and try to fly under the radar a little bit more and see if that works better. Okay, we've managed to get into every country in the world again. I was a little bit more deliberative in which gating mechanisms I unlocked when. Still went for a very similar build order, just focused a lot more on some early transmissions and was very careful with my abilities. Also went for things like the sneezing here very early on because that's a lot of infectivity. By unlocking the neural breach, I think we have unlocked some ways of slowing down the cure, which kind of will offset the problem we had last time. So maybe we want to go for delirium to significantly slow down the research speed a bit further, especially since we are in every country. Not a lot to worry about there. Now we're just looking to get our lethality to just jump on up. And if I go for respiratory distress, I mean, that should absolutely happen. They are working on the cure as rapidly as they think they can, but by picking up a couple levels of viral instability, we've slowed that down a fair bit. Did not need to get the viral interceptor. That was actually an accident on my part. But with things like the encephalitis lethargica, I think is what it is, we should be able to have some pretty good lethality and also with delirium slow down the cure a lot more. So this seems to be working okay. Pancreatitis has mutated. We're getting lots of mutations at this point, so this is good. Mutation patterns are extraordinary. Yes, they are. They are indeed. I don't even know what's going to happen with them. It's completely unpredictable. Let's go for the... You know, let's go ahead and unlock some new options. We have Immune Breach. which should lead to things like dementia. Immunodeficiency, reducing productivity, presumably the cure goes down. Myalgia, okay, decreases infectivity, probably not what I want right now. Well, actually, I guess it doesn't matter. Autoimmune can lead to severe complications. All right, let's just go ahead and pick this up, and we have no idea what it leads to. Never mind. Well, I don't know what that's going to do, but we'll find out if we can get a little bit more DNA. Let's go ahead and pick up the septic breach, and that unlocks the systemic breach, which presumably will lead to things like total organ failure. There's the aneurysm. Okay, we'll pick that up for cheap. Then we have cardiogenic shock. A little bit of lethality involved there as well. Lots of lethal options to go around, basically. Who is not fully New Zealand? Oh, crap. Are we killing too fast in New Zealand? Might be. Pathogen just reverted in some way. We may have to slow things down a little bit. We can just slow down by getting rid of the respiratory distress. And what else can we do in New Zealand? New Zealand is considered to be urban and wealthy. Okay, perfect. So let's just go for things like the fomites. A couple levels of that should help. Just trying to bump this up so we hit up our critical mass a little faster. That sort of appears to be working, and there we go. Okay, now the entire world's been affected. Haha! Cannot allow my overconfidence to get me, you know? Beware, that confidence is a slow and insidious killer or something darkest dungeon-related. Awesome voice acting. Brr, 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 brr. Okay, well, that seems to have worked just fine, so there we go. Lots of different customization in this, as I would expect from GD Mitch. There usually is an absolute freaking ton of content to go over. Yeah, another winner here, I would say. This one's pretty darn good. And I didn't stumble over the words quite as much as I usually do, which, you know, I just feel like is huge progress for me. That's great. 341 days, 27% cure progress, 72,838 points, and 3 stars. Love it. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with this scenario. It's got a whole load of customization, sticks to a theme really well. Very well researched, as usual. Yeah, I like it a lot. And, you know, I don't know how much influence Indigo Phoenix and Theoxys have, but of course, you know, always glad to see them getting involved and helping out with GD Mitch, but I think GD Mitch just outright has some really good ideas on their own, and I'm very impressed by that. Absolutely would say thumbs up, well done to everybody involved. Thank you for sending it my way, and thank all of you for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed, and if so, I would ask that you consider hitting that like button. It really does help. Leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed, and hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.